Alright, round number 2 of this little subset that I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to talk about my personal fetishes, shall we say. I don't have any fantasies left. I've pretty much lived through all of them. I've done all of them, I've experienced all of them. So there's nothing left in that department at all to even talk about. Why? Because, well, there's nothing left to do. I've done it all. Although I did find throughout the entire experience that I did end up with, or came to the conclusion of having a single fetish. I have the fetish to bite people, and the desire to inflict pain upon people. Kind of a funny combination, but hey, it works out quite well. I have this interesting and kind of, I don't know if you'd call it, warped way of doing things, but I find there's nothing more interesting than biting someone to the point that their skin almost breaks. And it's interesting because you can feel them resisting initially, and then after a while you can slowly start to feel them relaxing, and you can apply more and more pressure as they relax. And basically what it is you can feel the power exchange happening quite literally in your mouth as the resistance becomes submissiveness, and they give in to you. So it's kind of a very interesting facet to feel firsthand. When it's happening, you can actually get it to the point that you can not break skin, but you can apply so much pressure that you can leave a mark on a person for up to and over a month. A comment that was once made to me is it's an animalistic thing to mark your mate. Well, unfortunately, I think I've taken that one quite literally, and enjoy doing it quite literally. But that's one of my, I guess that's really my only major fetish, biting people. I do enjoy inflicting pain on people. I find it quite fun. At the same time, it's also quite fun to go through and experience different sensations. I'm not big into pain myself, but I do enjoy other sensations. Being lit on fire, that's a fucking great one. That'll get you high as a kite. Waxing, always good down for that one. Not so much into flogging per se, but definitely a good spanking doesn't hurt. Gives you quite a nice hunk of wood by the end of it. Always good if you're in a good relationship where you can, get a good hunk of wood and then go put it to use. Can't complain about that one. Some of the things you go through and you experience when you're in that world and that lifestyle on a daily basis can be quite exhilarating and quite frustrating simultaneously. There's a lot of self-control and a lot of self-restraint that happens, especially when you're beating someone and you are so turned on or so high that you just want to keep going, but you're not in a relationship per se that involves anything else but that particular instant of play. At the same time, you're also responsible for everything that happens to that person, and responsible to that person for everything that happens. If someone harms you by accident, it's your responsibility to communicate with them, whether it was a physical harm or a form of mental harm that has occurred, and then discuss it with them and get through to the point that you can agree upon a viable solution for both of you to move forward on. One of the things you don't want to do in the communities at all, period, is you don't want to leave a trail of broken things behind you. Other than that, you'll end up with a very bad reputation really quickly, and people will basically blackball your ass. It's a fun place to be, it's also a dangerous place to be. Let's be honest with you, every tool or every implement is actually based upon a weapon. A cat o' nine tails is a weapon. You can literally cleave flesh from bone with one of these things. A paddle is literally a weapon, if used properly. A rotan cane is a weapon. A whip is a weapon. Any one of these things can very quickly go from a tool of pain and pleasure into a tool of carving the shit out of someone's flesh. And there's two things that factor into this. A bad hit, or bad experience, or the worst of all, no experience whatsoever. Every one of these tools and implements that is ever used is dangerous. Make no mistake about that in any way, shape or form. Every single thing can be dangerous very quickly. And it's interesting to see how people claim to know what they know and know what they don't know. Personally, I've taken quite a bit of time to learn and experience and understand both sides of the coin. Like, to be honest with you, you cannot hit someone with a weapon and understand how to control it unless you've experienced being hit with it yourself by someone who knows far more than you do. It's not recommended or intelligent to go pick up a weapon and beat someone with it unless you understand exactly what you're doing. In other words, you should ask someone to mentor your ass. Because if you go pick up something and you go and use it, well, 10 to 1 you're going to harm the person, and well, no one wants to harm them. Hurting the person's perfectly fine. Downright fun to do that. But causing harm to a person is a totally different story and a different scenario, where you have to live with the implications and ramifications of your actions. You're responsible for your actions, period. This is one of the things that the BDSM community in particular has instilled upon me. Anyone that passes off their actions as someone told me to do it, well, you know what? You're full of shit. Literally, you're full of shit. In the community, you learn what you learn, you do what you do, you take responsibility for your actions. And when you walk outside that community and you see people doing things and going, well, someone made me do it, or someone told me to do it, or whatever, you sit there and you look at them and you just want to beat them senseless with a fucking stick. And I'm not talking in a polite or fun way. I'm talking you want to take a baseball bat and just pound their fucking head in. Simply because they are passing off the responsibility of their actions on someone else. And that's one of the things that you'll learn in the community really quick, is that you take responsibility for your actions, or else the community will literally ostracize you. And the people outside the community that just randomly do whatever and then say someone else made them do it, I'm sorry, you're full of shit. Take responsibility for yourself and your own actions. Take responsibility for the people that you affect with your actions. Because it is your actions that cause them whatever effect it happens to be caused. So if you're a person who gives a lot of yourself and a lot of time and you basically volunteer a lot, take responsibility for that. You have done a good thing. You have helped people. You have helped the community. If you're a bloody bastard and you go and you shoot somebody, take responsibility for the fact you shot the asshole. Well, maybe they're not an asshole, but the fact that you shot the person. It's your responsibility for your actions and what you do and the outcome of your actions. Period. Oh, the joys of BDSM and how it applies to the real world. The irony of that one.